Good morning, Salome B here, and today I want to talk about is it the law of attraction or racism? Now, when we look at racism, we know that back in the 1940s, when Woodrow Wilson, who was a Democrat, was in office, he segregated all federal employees from they instituted segregation in the military and federal sectors and everything like that. So that means blacks had to use their own water fountains, whites had to use their own water fountains. So we know that at one time racism did exist in the law, and that's when they segregated all of the races. Woodrow Wilson did that. Okay. Now, when the Civil Rights Acts come in, it abolishes all this segregation. And everybody was supposed to be on a even playing field, because the civil rights is to just give you an even playing field with the rest of the races, because blacks were not on an even playing field at one time because of the laws in America, and politicians were making the laws. So when they did all the segregation stuff, this is when blacks were not making as much as their white counterparts and everything like that. And a lot of people still bring up these arguments where they say a black woman is only worth $5, and all this statistical numbers. And statistics have been, people have been going wild with these statistics, because statistics can be manipulated. And a lot of people that come in front of you and giving you numbers, it could be twisted numbers just to get you, to persuade you to think like what they're doing. So, you got to look beyond the statistics too. You got to ask certain questions when it comes to statistics. What was that study for? What was it for? Like, it's limited when they do polls and stuff like that. So we know at one time there was racism. Okay, now when the civil rights comes along and puts you on the same playing field as the rest of the races, what happened? The civil rights was supposed to outlaw racism, and people say, well, we're still going to deal with racism. We're still going to face racism. And I hear some black people say, you're always going to be a slave. We're always going to be a slave. There's always going to be racism. And then I think about the law of attraction. The law of attraction is divine law. It's been here since creation, since God created. It's been here, you know. And the law of attraction is this: whatever you think that can come true, it will manifest. Whatever you think you can be, you can be. Whatever you think you want, you can get, just by thoughts, because the power of choice and the power of the will is manifest the law of attraction. Whatever you think, whether it's negative or positive, you're going to attract those things to you. So if somebody says to me, you're going to always be a slave, if I think I'm going to always be a slave, then I will attract those type of experiences. So is it the law of attraction, or is it plain racism? Which is it? Because if we go with the racist narrative, then you're saying that you're not in control of your own destiny. And when you negate that, then what else is there for you but poverty? I mean, we got to look at it here like, come on, what is racism really? Is it just a thought or a state of mind? Because when I hear people talk about, oh, there's still racism, or they look for, there's some people that wake up every day looking to be offended. And if that's what you're looking for, the law of attraction is going to continue to give you those situations. If you're broke and you're always thinking broke thoughts, of course you're going to attract brokenness to you. If you're negative all the time, of course you're going to attract negative people to you because y'all both on the same frequency. Now, let's talk about the rich. The rich know these divine laws. They know about the law of attraction. They know if they associate themselves around broke people who are nasty, who are evil, eventually you're going to be like that. Because that's the law of attraction. If you're thinking on the same frequency as somebody else, y'all going to be together on that frequency, because that's the way the universe works. The universe works off of the power of the mind. And if you don't control your own mind, then somebody else could. And so what the Democrats have been doing has been controlling your mind. And you have free will. You have freedom to think of whatever you want because you got free will. You got the choice and the power to think, the power to choose. So that's the law of attraction. But when racism comes in, you can't be you can't be in control of anything, because you're looking for those situations that you say must be a part of your psyche, must be a part of your everyday life. So if you say that racism exists in your mind, it will exist. It will create situations for you. There will be someone who's going to discriminate upon you because you always think that you're expecting that. The universe gives you what you expect. So is it law of attraction or is it racism? Really, what is it? Because the law of attraction has been here since Woodrow Wilson and everybody else started making segregation laws and racism. That law has been here since creation. So which one are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the law of attraction, or are you going to believe that racism is more powerful than the law of attraction? If you think that racism is more powerful than the law of attraction, then you will continue to experience racism. You will continue to experience poverty. You will continue to experience discrimination, because you have the power to think and choose. You have the power to choose what you want, and you have the power to create your life and make your life what you want it to be. But if you don't, and you go around saying that, oh, racism is always going to be, we're always going to be discriminated upon, then you have given up your power, and therefore you don't control your own self, and you're a victim. You're a victim to circumstances and destiny. And that's not, I don't think God wanted you to be, I don't think he brought you on this earth for you to be a slave all the time. I don't think that he brought you in this world to be anyone's slave or to go through anyone's racism. So why are you putting these thoughts in your mind that racism will always exist? If it's not a part of your psyche, it will not exist. Because we do have the power to choose. Life is what you make it. And if you think of negative thoughts all the time, then you're going to attract more negative situations, more negative thoughts, more of all negativity. And I think that the Democrats in the 1960s, the 1930s, they knew about the law of attraction, and they knew if they brainwashed enough black people into thinking that they were being discriminated upon, then you continue to perpetuate it. They don't have, that's what mental slavery is. Nobody has to touch you. Nobody has to put those thoughts in your head anymore. Once you pass that down, pass that negative thinking down, you keep perpetuating the same reality. And therefore, that's the law of attraction. So these Democrats have played with a lot of our minds, making us think that you're always going to be a victim of racism. You're always going to be discriminated upon. And if you think that, then it will appear. It will happen. A lot of people don't believe in the law of attraction, but the law of attraction comes from the Bible. So as a man shall think, so shall it be. That's the power of the mind. That's the power of the thought. And you have the will, you have the power to choose. So if you're more knowledgeable about how you're thinking, and if you can get rid of the negative thoughts, and I'm not telling anybody just to forget about slavery or whatever, because it existed. It existed from politicians who were Democrats putting this stuff on the American law books. It did exist, but it doesn't exist anymore. There are no obstacles that are stopping you when you come out your front door. They're telling you, because you're black, you can't do this. Now, if you put in your own mind those inferior thoughts, then you have just negated the law of attraction. You won't benefit from it, because all you think about is, I'm going to be discriminated upon. I'm going to be discriminated upon. I'm going to be picked on because I'm black. I'm going to be shot because I'm black. I'm going to be this because I'm black. And you are actually bringing this into reality. We have to take responsibility about the way that we think, because thought is powerful. It manifests into action after a while. Y'all have to understand how the rich runs this country. They run it off the law of attraction. So is it racism, or is it the law of attraction? Is it the way that we're thinking? Because if we're thinking wrong, of course we're going to bring about the wrong realities and the wrong things. So I just want to know what y'all think. Is it the law of attraction, or is it racism? Because, like I said, Woodrow Wilson started the segregation, and then when the Civil Rights Bill came along and was signed by Lyndon B. Johnson and Martin Luther King, it outlawed segregation and got you on the playing field equally to everybody else. Now that we're on the playing field and we're equal to everybody else, we still having problems. So it has to be the power of our thoughts. It has to be. Because they gave us an inferior complex by saying, you're always going to be discriminated upon because you're black. Know that every time you step in a workplace, somebody's going to discriminate upon you because you're black. If you keep thinking that reality is going to come about. And if you don't think I know what I'm talking about, a lot of millionaires use the law of attraction. Andrew Carnegie, Donald Trump, the law of attraction. The law of attraction brings you money as well. But if your mind is not on positive things, you can't attract money to you. So I think it's the way that we're thinking. It's the way that we're thinking. We're thinking that everywhere we go, somebody is going to be discriminated upon us. And that's not true. That's not true. When I walk out my door every day, there's not nobody stopping me from doing anything. The only thing that stops me is me. If I say, oh, I don't want to go to the store, guess what stopped me? My thoughts. Our thoughts have the power. And if they're negative, we can bring about a negative reality. And that's just what it is. So is it racism, or is it the law of attraction? Like, share, subscribe, Salon B. Have a great day.